When it comes down to showing what you know, you really know. When it all comes right back in your face, it won't feel half as tall. Don't underestimate your friend. Take the time to notice where you're going wrong. And if your plans for tomorrow fall apart from the very start, and you can't face another day alone, don't feel in the dark. Don't underestimate your friend. Take the time to try and find what's going on. I can't tell if I'm making myself clear. Part of how you live is part of what you hear. And I've heard, good Lord, and I've felt kind. I've been known by the melodies that I weave, and I know ain't all that complete, but I still believe. Don't underestimate your friend. Take his hand when he offers it, give back your own. I can't tell if I'm making myself part of how you live is part of what you hear. And I've heard, good Lord, and I feel kind. I've been known by the melodies that I weave, and I know my life ain't all that complete, but I still underestimate your friend. Take his hand when he offers it, give back your own. No, don't underestimate your sweet, sweet friend. Timber, part of what you hear.
Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. And hello, it is Yellow Sunday. And all of you out there that's wearing yellow. And hello to you on the live stream. Good morning. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Rev Lori Erwin Johnson, and I use the pronouns she and her. And if this is your first time here, I would like to welcome you. If this is your first time online, welcome. I'm so glad that you decided to join us. We're glad every time you decide to join us, whether it be right now or later during the week when you're watching this, when you have time. We're so glad no matter whenever you can put in time to come in to see us, we are glad that you're here. I'd like to introduce our musical guest. You just heard Dallas. Dallas, thank you for being here today. And we have Linda as well. And so we're going to have a wonderful music with our service today. Thank you so much for being here. And today we continue with our Faith in Action series. And Faith in Action for us this year means that we are focusing on the book, the Anam Cara, a Book of Celtic Wisdom by John O'Donohue. And I'm going to be talking today about chapter 2, which is titled Towards the Spirituality of the Senses. And again, today during Faith in Action, we always pick a color for the week, and this week's color is yellow. So we're so excited. I have a lot of people out there wearing yellow today, and so it's like Spirit Week, you know? We get to wear the color that is representing. So today it's yellow, and our symbol for this week is a Triskelion. Now, if you've never seen the Triskelion, it is 3 spirals making kind of a triangular spiral. And the Triskelion, or the Triskeli, or the Celtic spiral, is a Celtic symbol that dates to way before the Celts came to that area in northwestern Europe. It'd been in that area since Neolithic times, 3,200 BCE. So it's been around a really long time. It's debated as to what the symbol actually means. It could represent the 3 realms, the physical, the mental, and the spiritual realms, body, mind, and spirit. But we really don't know because of its age. We have no idea what the meaning of this Triskelion was. But this is I believe that it means body, mind, and spirit, and they use that a lot for that. So we're going to go with that today. We have this wonderful, ever-evolving Celtic wheel that's happening, and every week we have a new one. Last week was our first week, and we had Victoria creating this one, and our color was blue. Today, we have this beautiful art piece that's been added, so every week we'll have a new one. And this one was done by Renee. She is here in the audience today, and Marley. And they made this wonderful, beautiful yellow piece. It's got butterflies and bees and yellow roses, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So each week we'll have a new piece, but I want to thank you, Renee, for making such a wonderful piece and making our Celtic wheel come alive, and I appreciate that. Okay, so I would like to start off our service as we move forward to go into the prayer for protection. So if you know the prayer for protection, say it with me. If you don't, just close your eyes and listen. It's a wonderful prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So let's just take this moment as we're sitting in prayer. Take a breath. And as we're sitting inside, we know that the outside world, our environment, is a little smoky from the fires that are burning around us. And we would just want to hold all of the creatures and all of the plants and all of the people that are affected by these fires that are happening, and the people that are affected by the smoke and the danger to their homes and the danger to the animals. And we just hold them up, holding them in love and light, knowing that the greatest good for them will be done. We know in this moment that our air is clearing, that we are breathing easier, and we accept this as our truth. And as we move through the service today, help us to take in what it is we need to hear, to understand what we need to learn, and to move forward with that knowledge and use it in a way that's helpful and useful for ourselves and others. And so we are so grateful for this opportunity for us to be together, to be able to focus on today's topic, and we accept this as the way it will be, and so it is. Amen. I'm going to invite Dallas to sing us another song, and then I'll come back for message.
This is a song I wrote a long time ago, in my early 20s, when I was wishing there was a fireplace. And it is about the natural condition and the reasonably non-smoky conditions. It's called The Fire is Low. The fire is low and streets are empty now. Time has turned a page again. We've lived through it somehow. and streets are empty now. With all the children safely tucked in bed, their moms and dads will touch each other to see what may be said, but dreams are waiting for us tonight, hoping tomorrow will be alright. The fire's low and streets are empty The world will turn and we live on as one, forgetting all that once was here and all the bad we've done. But dreams are waiting for us tonight, knowing tomorrow will be alright. The fire is low and streets are empty Thanks so much.
Thank you. That was beautiful. All right. Well, he set the stage for our message. Thank you. Our affirmation is pretty simple. I try to keep them simple, and it goes with our focus that we are focusing on this week. And it is, I behold the face of the divine in everyone. So if you could say that with me. I behold the face of the divine in everyone. And our reading is from chapter 2 from John O'Donohue's book, Anam Cara. And the section is the infinity of your interiority. The human person is a threshold for many infinities to meet. There is the infinity of space that reaches out into the depths of the cosmos, and the infinity of time reaching back over billions of years. There is the infinity of the microcosm. One little speck on top of your thumb contains a whole inner cosmos, but it is so tiny that it is not visible to the human eye. The infinity in the microscope is as dazzling as the cosmos. However, the infinity that haunts everyone, and which no one can finally quell, is the infinity of one's own interiority. A world lies hidden behind each human face. In some faces, the vulnerability of inner exposure to the depths become visible. When you look at some faces, you can see the turbulence of the infinite beginning to gather to the surface. This moment can open in a gaze from a stranger or in a conversation with someone you know well. Suddenly, Suddenly, without their intending it or being conscious of it, their gaze becomes the vehicle of some primal inner presence. This gaze lasts for only a second. In the slightest interim, something more than a person looks out. Another infinity, as yet unborn, is dimly present in the moment. Do you feel that you are being looked at from the strangeness of the eternal? The infinity gazing out at you is from and in ancient time. We cannot seal off the eternal. Unexpectedly and disturbingly, it gazes in at us through the sudden apertures in our patterned lives. A friend of mine who loves lace often says that it is the holes in the lace that render it beautiful. And our scripture lesson for today is 1 John 1 through 2. From the very first day, we are there, taking it all in. We heard it with our own ears, saw it with our own eyes, verified it with our own hands. The word of life appeared right before our eyes, and we saw it happen. And now we're telling you in most sober prose that what we witnessed was, incredibly, this: the infinite life of God took shape before us. So we had a wonderful book study this week. I thought I felt really good all the rest of the week. It was a really great experience. We discussed the experience of the Anam Cara. Marcia is a wonderful facilitator. I thought it was great. I had a great time. And she kept us on task and got us inspired. And I just think, so I want to thank you, Marcia, for doing that. Great job. We had 10 of us online this week, and we had a really great time. So for those of you who are interested in being part of this book study, even if you haven't read the book, it's fine. We can still have a discussion. You still have an input, even if you haven't read the book, and you'll get something out of it each and every time. So a little bit later in the service, I'm going to give you information on how to join us for this book study. It is online, and I can send you a Zoom link. During the Anam Cara experience, it started off by taking a moment of silence. And every Anam Cara experience starts off with this ability to bypass the environment outside of us and go within. So we become more receptive and open in this space of silence, that we do not have to be present other than with ourselves. We don't have to take in what's happening around us. And according to the work of the Anam Cara, the messages you receive during that time of silence is uniquely for you. It's going to be totally different than the person that's sitting next to you. Or it may be the same, maybe. I've had that happen a few times, but usually it's something uniquely for you. You hear something, you feel something, you experience something through those moments of silence. So what I would like to do today is just take a few moments to sit in silence, to close off your sensory world for just a moment, and just get into that space of receptiveness. So let's just sit there for just a moment. And as you're sitting in this moment of silence, I would like you to think about, what was your first memory? Most of us have our first memory sometimes between the ages of 3 and 4, maybe 5 years old. But what do you remember first? Just take a moment to bring that back to your consciousness. What was it about that moment that you remembered most? And now I'm going to bring you back to this waking consciousness and hold on to that thought. For me, my first memory involves a sensation. It involves remembering a stuffed animal that I used to have when I was a little girl. And I loved the way it felt in my fingers. I had this little stuffed lamb, and it had curly woolen-like coat that was made out of just fuzz. It was very soft, and I really loved the way it felt in my fingers and the piles of fluff. And I would always play with them, always touching it, soothing myself with this little lamb and its cute little woolen coat. And I loved it so much, and I did that so often that it ended up bald a couple of years later. And I still have it, actually, completely bald. But it was something that I really remember. My first memory was the touch and the feeling of that little lamb. My mom would also dress me up in little fuzzy-footed pajamas, and they were also soft and cushy. And so I would also like to touch those if I didn't have my little lammy. And I would feel that, and again, ended up bald, just like everything else that I would pull and touch and comfort myself with. And so they ended up without any fuzz. I had a fascination with what things felt like. I wanted to touch things. I wanted to feel them. I had a quilt that had this satin border that my aunt made for me, and it was so soft and silky. Again, I just loved the way that it felt. It got me into a state of comfort, but also I realize now into a meditative state, that it would get me into that theta brainwave state where I'm just half asleep, half awake, and just completely in that space of joy and bliss. And that's how I used to do that when I was little, and that was my first memory. Our sensories develop way before we're even born. We have senses that are going on. We can even smell in utero. So we can hear and we can feel things, and we can taste things, and we can smell. And you wouldn't think that smelling when you're in your amniotic fluid, that you would be able to smell, but absolutely they know that you have the ability to smell before you're even born. And the sensation for humans is so important. The sensation of touch is so important that a human baby won't thrive without it. I've worked with individuals with disabilities who came from other countries that were orphans. And if they are left in their cribs without any kind of interaction, they develop slowly, or they don't develop at all. And so the aftermath is a lifelong disability of not being able to interact with the world because they didn't have any touch when they were little. So touch, the sensation of touch, is really, really important. Have you ever tried to walk when your foot's asleep? Before the pins and needles part, When you get up and you notice your foot's asleep, but it just feels really dead. You know that you can't walk effectively if you cannot feel the ground. The sensation of touch is so important that it impedes your ability to walk because you don't feel the ground. I watched this documentary with this woman who actually, she had complete mobility. She could move her legs, she had all of that, but she had no sensation in her legs and feet. So she couldn't walk. She would either touch the ground with too much pressure, or she wouldn't have enough and she would fall. She ended up injuring herself more often than she walked. And so she ended up in a wheelchair because she couldn't feel the ground. Sensation of touch is very, very important to our ability to even function as normal humans in the world. Everything we experience in this lifetime is filtered through our senses. So senses are actually the gateway to our perception, how we perceive and interact with the world. When you walk into a bakery, for example, and you smell this freshly baked bread. So your body, before you even notice, your body already begins to respond because of these senses by producing saliva to start the digestive process. Maybe your tummy starts to rumble a little bit and getting ready to digest this wonderful bread that it smells before you even notice that it's happened. John O'Donohue says in chapter 2, the senses are the threshold to the soul. So when you walk into a church, for example, when you walk into a room, you hear the music. You see your friends. You might see the wonderful artwork we have, or you might have the lights may give you something that entices you to feel more comfortable. Or you could walk into a different spiritual community, like a Catholic church, for example. You may have incense that you smell in the air, or you may touch the holy water as you walk in. These entice the incenses. They make you feel like you are in a holy space, and it puts you into a place of the holy. Since the dawn of time, spirituality has been expressed and experienced through the senses. And through them, they were able to experience the divine. And as they are a gateway to the perception, they are like little informants to the body, to the nervous system. Your senses pick it up before you're even aware. New thoughts, ideas are slower than the sensations you receive from the environment. The signals that come from your senses are faster. And using the senses as spiritual teachers, let us know that we can bypass this thought process that we already have. If we were to use the senses as a gateway to going into the spiritual divine, then we are able to get into a space of meditation like I was doing with my cute little animals or my blanket. The sensation bypasses your thoughts. For example, when I meditate, sometimes I use mala beads. Is everybody familiar with that? I think I might have mine with me. I did. I did bring them. So I have the mala beads that I use for meditation sometimes. I don't always use them. I don't always have them with me. But they're smooth and they're cool and they're stones. And as you use them, I can feel them. And as I move them around, I focus on that sensation, and it makes it so I'm no longer thinking. I'm no longer in that mind of thought, and I get past that, and I can get into a space of expansiveness and consciousness. It's a way to bypass the thoughts and the ideas that are constantly rolling around in our head by using something that uses the senses to bypass it. So, for example, another thing, you might have a mantra that you use during meditation. The sound of the mantra can keep you in that space away from the thoughts that take you away from getting into that deepness of your spirituality. So these beads and not just in the Indian culture, but also in the Hindu culture, but also in the Christian environment, and also within the Islam tradition, they use these beads as a way to bypass the get back the ideas and get into the consciousness. So the sensations are really, really important. They are the threshold to spiritual development. In the book, John O'Donohue talks about the body and its great ability to be able to experience intensity through the senses. He said in his book that the body can be a home to a great range of intensity of presence. Theater is a striking illustration, and as an actor has enough eternal space available to take in the character and let it inhabit him totally, so that the character's voice, mind, and action can find subtle and immediate expression through the actor's body. The body of the actor becomes the character's presence. I think of divine essence as the actor who expresses through each and every one of us as a character within this life. The source emerges within the body and becomes a unique expression of itself in each and every one of us. The divine wears us kind of like a mask, kind of like putting on a costume. Each and every one of us is here as an expression of the divine, as God working through us. And whatever we experience, whether it is good or bad, is exactly what is necessary for that moment, because God knows. The divine knows what needs to happen and knows what the greatest good is. It is the divine presence that works through us and as us. Sometimes we feel like our bodies are like an outfit that we wear, or it's like putting on a tight shoe like we're kind of in it. But did you know, really, that our bodies are 99.99999% empty space? That there is plenty of space available for the divine to work through us and as us. We are not stuck in a sausage casing. We are expressed through us and as us. And there's plenty of space to be, to express, to continue. And so when you feel like you are stuck in a space or in a time or in a situation, know that you are expansive, that there is more space in you than you will ever need. And the divine is working through you and as you. And your senses, again, are a gateway to getting to that space. When you realize that you are open and expansive and in a space of divine acceptance, you realize that your body is transformed by the divine each and every moment of each and every day. This is something that happens. It's constantly changing, constantly evolving. Your situation today is not the same as it was yesterday, and it will never be the same again. It is constantly expressing new ways through you and as you every single moment of every single day. And like the actor who are in plays, they come alive through us. We are the characters in the play of life. We are the divine moving through us and as us in an expression, just like the actor. I was talking about this a little bit before my talk last week. We were talking about, I think Karen was saying that sometimes you feel like your body is the temple and you are within the temple. But John O'Donohue in his book explains that our bodies are more than just a structure. It is an expression of the divine in and of itself. So not only are you expressing the divine within your body, but your body is the expression of the divine. It is here the way it is. So that is why when we think, well, how can I heal myself? Because you are the expression of the divine. And allowing that healing energy to come through you and as you, then that is what happens. Health is what occurs. All we have to do is get out of the way and allow. That's why it happens. Our bodies are an expression. They are not static. They are continuing to grow and change and to be different each and every moment. And we can take advantage of that and know that all of that empty space that is taken up by the divine, 99.999, and there's a lot of nines, in that space, we know that the divine is working through us mostly. The rest of it that's all physical isn't that much. So we can allow that energy to heal us, to bring us into the experience that we want in our lives. All we have to do is choose it. We know that the mystics like John O'Donohue, the poets, we know that the musicians and the artists have all been trying to express the divine through use of their sensations. They have used their artistic ability, their abilities to use them to be able to create music, to be able to create beautiful art pieces like Denise and these wonderful pieces here. This is an expression of the divine by the use of senses. And it's a gateway to our spiritual development. And that's why we decided to do that. That's why we do that every year with Faith in Action, because it is another way to get to the divine. We feel the divine. We may not see it every single day. We may not hear it. We do, however, feel it in our hearts, and we know it's here. We just have to pay attention. We have to recognize. And he was talking about that too. The Anam Cara is a recognition of the divine within. It's not really an intention. It's an awakening to. It's an opening up. It's an expansiveness. It's to allow that all that empty space in your body to be able to become itself. You see, the divine has created us so it can be aware of itself. Because we have consciousness. We have the ability to look back at God and know that God is there. And as God looks through us, it looks back at itself. It's a profound idea. When we think of who we are and what we truly can be, When we are not limited to this physical form, we are not limited to what we think we are. We need to use our senses. We need to use our voices to hear the sound. We need to use the music that we listen to pull us into a new space. We need to use our eyes, if we can, to be able to open up and to be available. And we are in a space of knowing that these senses are available to us as the divine threshold. So as humans, we come into this world with this ability, this drive, this want to be the expression of the divine. We are already in a space of understanding when we are born. We forget as we go through life. We just need to be to remember to be in that next space. In essence, as John O'Donohue says in his book, the body becomes a mirror of the divine. He says the body is a sacrament. The old traditional definition of sacrament captures it beautifully. A sacrament is a visible sign of invisible grace. In that definition, there is a fine acknowledgement of how the unseen world comes to expression in the visible world. This desire for expression lies deep in the heart of the invisible. It longs for form in which it can be seen, felt, and touched. The body is the mirror where the secret world of the soul comes to expression. The body is a sacred threshold, and it deserves to be respected, minded, and understood in its spiritual nature. We come into this world as the unseen. We come into this world where we were before, and now we're in this physical realm. We emerge into this sacred threshold that is our human body. The nature of the source of who we are wants to be expressed. It wants to feel, it wants to be seen, and it does so for the rest of our lives, from the beginning to the very end. So as we become aware of this notion that our senses are the gateway of perception, this is an infinite idea. But we're also infinite and experiencing the microcosm that is. It's our purpose here in this universe to be able to express, to feel, and to understand that we are God experiencing himself. So as we sit here for just a moment, I'd like to take a moment, again, for you to sit in silence, bringing yourself, your awareness, back to your inner self, your ability to bring up that idea, that memory that you had, and try to think about what sensations do you remember from that moment? What do you remember? What do you see? What do you feel? And just sit there for a moment, just enjoy that. Because the sensation is the gateway to the divine. All right, in a few moments we're going to go into meditation that was actually inspired by Renee from last week, a discussion I had. And so we're going to talk about our senses in a few moments during meditation. But first I'm going to invite Dallas back for another song. Are you singing, Linda? Linda is singing too.
I think your mic is off. Yeah.
Her mic is off.
It's okay. Maybe I'll come and sing with you.
No. Let's.
Okay.
I'm not
Thanks,
sure
Kamai.
There you go, thanks.
This is a Navajo prayer, traditional prayer that some of you may know. If you know it, please sing along. We will repeat it several times.
Thank you. As I said earlier, this was inspired by Renee, where for those of us who are anxious people, we always have these little things in our toolbox to be able to get us through those moments of anxiety and fear and stress. And so she was talking about using the five senses. What is it that five senses, when we're in a stressful moment, how can we use those senses to get past all that negative loop that we get into when we're anxious and upset? You notice I got my little thing going on here. I'm already using it. But when you get into a sense of anxiety and stress, you can use this meditation or this exercise to be able to move you into a better space. So close your eyes for just a moment, because I'm going to ask you to open them up here in just a moment. Just get into a space where you feel yourself supported by the surface that you're on, whether you're at home lying on the bed or if you are sitting in a chair. Just feel yourself supported. Just breathe and feel that breath coming in and out of your body. Know that that breath sustains you. And you don't have to pay that much attention to it. Just acknowledge that it's there. Just get very comfortable, very relaxed. Be very intentional about just allowing what happens to happen right now. And when you're in a moment of feeling stressed, you can use your senses to pull you out. So I'd like you to open your eyes right now. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to acknowledge 5 things around you. Just notice 5 different things in this environment. Just look at them, take note of them. When you do that, it pulls you away from being in yourself. It allows you to stop the rumination when you see that there's a light or you see that there's a chair. It seems mundane, but it pulls you out of the rumination, the circular thoughts that may be negative. And it pulls you in to a space of neutrality. 5 things around you. Now you can close your eyes again. And I'd like you to notice 4 things that you can touch. What are you feeling right now? Just pay attention to how you're feeling and where you're feeling those sensations. 4 things. And now I'd like you to acknowledge 3 things that you can hear. This next one may be a little bit difficult, but I'd like you to acknowledge 2 things you can smell. And hopefully it's a good smell. And finally, I'd like you to bring your awareness to what you taste. I know we're not eating anything right now, but everyone has a taste. What is a taste? And now I'd like you to bring your attention to one of those things. Out of all of those sensations that you just felt, I'd like you to bring your awareness to one of those things. And just focus on that for a moment. This practice can be done anytime. It doesn't have to be during meditation. However, meditation is something you can do it during meditation so you can practice for those times when you need to use it in the real world. It's something you can do without anyone knowing that it's even happening. 5 things that you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And now I'd like to bring you back to this consciousness. I would like you to thank every wonderful sensation that you just experienced for being there for you. Thank your body for allowing it to give you that ability. Take a deep breath. Feel yourself supported on the surface that you're on, and bring your awareness back into this space by opening your eyes. I'm going to invite Dallas for another song.
Might want to turn up the piano a little bit, maybe. Come on, everybody. If you feel like getting up, jumping up, standing up. And this is the theme from Mick Jagger. God gave me everything I want. You can see it in a clear blue sky. You can see it in a woman's eyes. You can hear it in your baby's cries. You can hear it in your lover's sighs. You can touch it in a grain of sand. You can hold it right there in the palm of your hand. You can feel it around you every day. You can hear what I got to say, yeah. God gave me everything I want. Come on, give it all to you. God gave me everything I want. Come on, I gave it all to you.
Wow. I think we should just end right there. I don't think I can say anything else that would be inspirational after that. Thank you so much. Wow. All right. Well, if nothing else, we can go into love offering and maybe people are inspired. We've come to the portion of our service where we open our hearts to give. All donations that we receive here at Unity of Tacoma go to support the missions and ministry and the wonderful musicians that we have here at Unity of Tacoma. And there are so many ways that you can give. You can go to our Facebook page and you can give there with the donate button at the top of the page. You can go to facebook.com/Unity of Tacoma to give via Facebook there. You can go to our website at unityoftacoma.org/donate to give via Facebook there. You can go to our donate through Zelle using our telephone number 253-576-3225. You can mail a check to Unity of Tacoma, P.O. Box 112289, Tacoma, Washington 98411. And also, if you're here in the building here, we have a prosperity box in the back. If you are interested or would like to use that, you can do that. And as we prepare to give, I'd like you to hold the intention of prosperity within your hands. Just allow it to move through you and as you. As Jesus said in Luke 6:38, give and you'll receive. You'll be given much, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. It will spill into your lap. The way you give to others is the way God will give back to you. And as you visualize this wonderful abundance within your hands, please repeat after me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful for my blessings today, and I am grateful in every way. And so it is. Amen. May the blessings that you give bring so many blessings back to you. We are so grateful for each and every one of you. Anything at all that your support, your money, your talent, and your time. We are so happy for each and every one of those. So our announcements. So we have next Sunday is October 23rd already. Wow. Where did October go? Didn't we just start? Okay. October 23rd is we continue with Faith in Action with Chapter 3. Solitude is Luminous in the book Anam Cara by John O'Donohue. Our theme color next week is green, and our musical guest is Christine S. Young. We are continuing to host our book study, and it meets on Tuesday evenings at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. We still have availability if you want to join us. If you haven't read the book, that's absolutely okay. If you just want to be part of the discussion, it's a great group. I'm enjoying it already. And you can contact me at lori@unityoftacoma.org, and I can get you the Zoom link, and you can join us on Tuesday evenings at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. So no matter where you are, we will get you in. On October 30th, we will invite Morris Catton back for our Halloween costume Sunday message. So if you are, adventurous and want to wear a costume, please do so, because I'm going to wear it because I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday, and so I always have a costume. So we're going to wear a costume, and Carlton is going to play drums. Looking forward to that, and Carlton's costume. And so that's going to be fun. October 30th, we're going to continue with the book Anam Cara then, but we'll also have this Halloween theme going on that day. November 5th, we are going to be at the Glow Metaphysical Market from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And the market is located at the Frederickson Community Center at Cross Park at 4420 Military Road East in Tacoma. So come out and see us. It's going to be fun. I love metaphysical markets. If you've ever been to one, there'll be lots of things. There'll be all kinds of card readers, and there'll be people who are psychic, and you'll also have healers and massage therapists and people selling jewelry and all of that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to be there. We're going to have a table there, and we're looking forward to that as well. And so if you want to come and receive a prayer or receive some other cool things, we're going to be giving away Deepak Chopra's new book. It's called Abundance: An Inner Path to Wealth. We're going to be giving away that book just for coming in and just filling out a little card. Or you can buy a raffle ticket and you can win 3 spiritual direction or Anam Cara treatments with me. If you're unfamiliar with that, come to the study group and I'll let you know what's going on there. It's a lot of fun. Spiritual coaching, 3 sessions for me, so that'll be a lot of fun if you're interested in that. And we got lots of stuff going on. November 6th, we will have guest speaker Cindy Akana, and our special musical guest will be the Katie Jane Band. And they are a Celtic duo from Portland, and Katie plays the fiddle, and it's Adam. Adam plays the guitar, and so it's going to be a wonderful time. They were in here before, and they just have so much energy, and it's really wonderful to have them. So that is November 6th, and Cindy Akana is our special guest speaker that day, because we will be at the market the day before, and I'll be a little tired, so I'll be glad to sit out there and listen to Cindy and the music. Saturday, November 12th, we will continue with our sandwich making project that we started last month, and it was a lot of fun. We were able to make 100 lunches with sandwiches and fruit and water that went out to the unhoused in the area, so we're going to do it again. Our goal is to make 100. It only takes about an hour with the many people we had. The more people takes less time, and so we're looking forward to that. That is Saturday, November 12th. We'll be right here at Surge at 5401 South Tacoma Way at 11 a.m. in the morning. So it won't be too early. So once on the November 12th, we would love to see you. It's a lot of fun. And finally, November 20th is the end of our Faith in Action series, and we are going to celebrate that with a soup and bread get-together after service. So we're really excited about that. I love soup and bread. I could just eat that all the time. And I'm a person who I will give an alternative to turkey too, because I am allergic to turkey, so must be the only person that I know that can't eat turkey. But we'll have a chicken soup or something for those of us that can't do turkey. So we're going to do that. The details will be ironed out more. We'll send out more information for you so you'll know. But please join us here at Surge after the service on November 20th. And I will end with the benediction. Our benediction is a blessing for the senses from John O'Donohue from chapter 2. He says, "May your body be blessed. May you realize that your body is a faithful and beautiful friend of your soul. And may you be peaceful and joyful and recognize that your senses are sacred thresholds. May you realize that the holiness is mindful, gazing, feeling, hearing, and touching. May your senses gather you and bring you home. May your senses always enable you to celebrate the universe and the mystery and possibilities in your presence here. May the arrows of the earth bless you." And so it is. I want to thank you all for being here today and to be able to join us online, to be able to hear the wonderful music we had and to hear the message and to get into a space of meditation. You're always welcome. It's so wonderful. Dallas is going to take us out with our wonderful peace song, "Let There Be Peace on Earth." If you would like to stand, please do so and just enjoy the music.
Peace that was meant to be.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week.